Welcome, everyone. I'm Tracy Fitzpatrick, and I'll be your moderator today. Thank you so much for joining us here at Netcom Learning, a market leader in promoting lifelong learning, training, and talent development solutions. We are very excited to host today's event, Microsoft Azure Security Essentials Masterclass. Presenting today's topic is Rajit Singh. Rajit brings over 18 years of experience in technical administration, configuration, migration, and troubleshooting, with over 10 years focused on Azure, M365, and SharePoint. He has deep knowledge of cloud architecture and excels in delivering hands-on training across hybrid and multi-cloud environments. Known for his engaging and motivational teaching style, Ranjit simplifies complex concepts and fosters a collaborative learning space enriched with real-world scenarios. Please bear in mind that this is an overview of a very robust topic. We offer a collection of technical and business courses that can be tailored to your specific requirements. If you are interested in a further discussion, you can make an appointment with our learning consultants through our website at netcomlearning.com. Today's session is also being recorded, so you'll get free access to the recording in the next 24 hours via email. Netcom Learning helps customers build innovative learning organizations by achieving a smarter workforce, adapting to change, and driving growth. We do this with a broad catalog of offerings, developing customized learning plans, and our global delivery capabilities. Since 1998, we have been empowering organizations with our managed learning services to help them reach optimal performance results and address challenges. We do have 9 practice areas in which we specialize. They encompass people, process, and technology training. And today's presentation is from the Security Practice Area. Netcom Learning offers a comprehensive training portfolio of courses for the topic being covered today. Our upcoming classes include various trainings on the given courses. You can also access a variety of marketing assets, such as the free training and blogs, by clicking on the available event handout. These offerings can be found with a simple search on our website at netcomlearning.com. Today's session will explore the core capabilities of Microsoft Azure Security and how to unlock its full potential to safeguard your cloud infrastructure. In this essential masterclass, you'll learn to strengthen your security posture, streamline access management, and defend against evolving cyber threats. Discover best practices for securing data, monitoring activity, and responding to incidents using native Azure tools, empowering you to protect your organization with confidence. In addition, participants will get guidance on effectively preparing for the AZ500 certification course and exam in today's session. Now, I would like to give you a quick overview of the logistics before we get started. To begin with, you do have the option to view in full screen by clicking on the full screen button on the right side of the GoToWebinar viewer. Simply hit the escape key to exit the full screen. Everyone has been muted except for our presenters. Feel free to submit any questions you have for the presenters here in the questions pane, and we will address them at the end of the session. And to get the best out of today's events, we've included the slides, courses we talk about, and marketing assets in the handout section of your GoToWebinar viewer. You may refer to them at any time to get a better understanding of today's topic. And we do realize that some of you may have to leave early and want to let you know that as you do leave the session today, you will be presented with a short survey. We would like to request for you to take a quick moment to participate in that survey. Your feedback really helps us understand your learning experience and improve our future sessions for you. The survey answers are measured on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 representing outstanding and 1 representing poor. And now I'd like to pass this over to our trainer to present today's topic. Hey, Ranji, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, thank you, Tracy. Hello, everyone. My name is Ranjit Singh, and I'm the instructor for this Microsoft Azure Security Essential Masterclass. let's get started with the introduction. My name is Ranjit Singh. I'm Microsoft certified trainer with 16 years of experience over system engineer, SharePoint administrator, team lead, and cloud administration. My current role is migration consultant, helping organizations securely move and optimize their workloads in the cloud. I hold several certifications, which include Microsoft Certified Trainer, Azure Security Engineer, Azure Solution Architect, Microsoft Cybersecurity Architect, and many more. In this session, we are going to talk about how we can go and use the Azure security solutions and services to safeguard your deployments and configuration over the cloud services. We'll start with the introduction for Azure security concept, where we'll set the stage by discussing the shared responsibility model, foundational security principles, and why cloud native security is critical for today's landscape. Next, we'll move to identity and access management, covering how control who can access which resource, implement least privilege, utilizing the tools for Active Directory, Entra ID, now we call it Entra ID, manage users, groups, and roles securely. We'll talk about the securing data and application topic, where we'll dive into how the data at rest and data in transit can be secured, and we'll talk about the tools for monitoring and threat protection management. At the end of the session, we'll have a Q&A time for you, where you can go and ask any question around these topics. We'll start with the first topic which introduces you to the Azure security concepts. When we talk about this particular section, we'll learn about the shared responsibility model. We'll talk about Azure security architecture and the core principles around it. We'll talk about the core services like Microsoft Defender, Sentinel, Key Vault. We'll look into Azure Zero Trust security model and how everything connects to support the compliance and protection for the organization. Let's get started. The shared responsibility model. In the cloud, understanding who is responsible for what is critical. Azure operates under a shared responsibility model where Microsoft takes the responsibility to secure your cloud, the physical infrastructure, the networking, the hypervisor, and you as the customer or tenant for the service needs to secure what you put in the cloud, which include your identities, your applications, your data, your configuration. If you look at this diagram, you can easily identify the shared responsibility model configuration, where if you're working with your on-premise environment, all the responsibilities starting from building your data center to managing your data, managing your identity, devices, endpoint is on your own IT team. Whereas as you move to the cloud and you opt for, let's say, infrastructure as a service, which includes virtual machines and network, in this case, your responsibility will be to go and manage your operating system, the updates which are going to be pushed to these operating systems, the identity management, firewall, applications, all of these responsibility will be with you. When you start working with PaaS services like Azure App Services, SQL databases, the application configuration, the access management, the data security are the controls which are with you, which are the shared responsibility with the tenant. If you are using Microsoft SaaS solutions like Microsoft 365, the identity and data protection controls are considered to be the client's responsibility. This model ensures the transparency and helps the architect to securely configure their services over the cloud environment. Let's talk about how you can go and use Azure security principles. Microsoft approach is based on 5 core principles. One, security by design, where we try to include security in every application, in every deployment which is going to happen over the cloud services. We'll go and do defense in depth, which include a layered protection which is applied at identities, data, application, network, devices, and we try to go and follow the principle of least privilege, which includes the uses, the resources which user are going to access, should have only the required set of permission based on role-based access control. The security principle also includes assume breach as one of the principles, where the design of the security is considered to be the way the security should have multiple layers, and any specific layer of security you are going to deploy, there have to be a layer which protect the resources underneath that. You can go and protect your data, you can protect your compute, you can protect your networks, you can put a perimeter network to protect using firewalls and DDoS protections. You can go and create multiple layers of security. The reason being, we assume that if there is a breach, we should have multiple layers of security to guardrail our resources from attacks. This happens with the help of zero trust. The zero trust principle, which talks about the zero trust framework, which talks about how you should go and prepare your security architecture over the cloud infrastructure, which includes never trust, always verify, and enforce least privileges within the organization. The zero trust model is particular crucial, which includes how to go and provide authentication and authorization in every access which is going to happen within your organizational resources. You can use the contextual signals like location, devices, role to better adjust your security posture for the organization and monitor continuously all the events happening around your identities and resources and respond if there is any cyber threat detected over those events. In this configuration, you can go and manage the security stack using multiple cloud services. Those services include the identity management solutions, which can be deployed using the help of Entra ID. You can go and use it, Defender for Cloud. You can use Sentinel. You can use Key Vault. There are many solutions. These are just few of those core services which you can go and use for securing your environment. If you talk about Defender for Cloud, for instance, the Defender for Cloud is going to give you a unified security posture management capability, which is also referred as Cloud Security Posture Management. It includes cloud workload and threat protection capabilities as well. This will help you to go and get a secure score which highlights your configuration weaknesses, and then you can go and provision your services to protect your environment. You can go and use Sentinel as a Azure native SIM and SOAR capability, which is provided to us. You can ingest logs from the cloud, from on-premise resources. You can go and work with real-time threat detection, hunting, and you can use automation capability to respond to these cyber attacks. The Key Vault is one of the solutions which allows you to go and manage your secrets, your certificates, your encryption keys. It can easily get integrated with many Azure services available over the cloud and will allow you to go and configure role-based access control or access policies through which identities or services can get access to these resources. Entra ID is one of the topics which we are going to get into the next session as well. But as an introduction, Entra ID helps you to go and manage your authentication. It allows you to configure role-based access control at tenant level. It includes features like multi-factor authentication, self-service password reset, conditional access. It integrates with many solutions like role-based access control, privileged identity management, the external identity controls, which you can go and use for B2B and B2C setups. You can go and use tools like Azure Policies. Azure Policy will help you to enforce the governance at scale. This enforced governance will make sure that your security posture remains as per the governance requirement of the industry in which you operate and the local region or the governance which applies to the local authorities where you are operating your business. You are often going to see all these services together to build a multi-layered defense model for your application. Let's take a simple example to understand how these services get integrated together. Think about a scenario where you are planning to deploy a web application for the business. In this case, when you plan to go and create a web app, this web app is going to provide services over the internet where users can go and access resources from the cloud. But deploying this web app also needs the requirement to consider security. For example, you can go and deploy key vault services through which the secure DB connection settings can be consumed. You can go and secure certificates inside the key vault. You can go and use Defender for Cloud. The Defender for Cloud is the service through which you will be able to go and do the risk assessment of the application and apply recommendations for your services. You want to go and protect your web application, you can apply firewall settings. Firewall, which will allow you to go and give a network level security, the application layer security. You can go and use WAF integrations where the web application firewall can be deployed to go and protect you against the web vulnerabilities and risk involved over the public facing web applications. You can go and integrate your web application with Entra ID. The Entra ID will allow you to go and get your role-based access control in place, and you can allow your internal users or external users to get access to the resources which have been placed under this web application. Along with that, you can go and use the monitor and logging features which are available on Azure Monitor plus Microsoft Sentinel solution, through which you can go and do log analytics, and you can go and consume all of your resources to create alerts for any specific event which may lead to a risk inside the application infrastructure. Not only this, but you can go and apply Azure policies. These Azure policies allow you to go and manage governance and compliance around your web application. You can define what region the web application can be deployed, which SKU do you want to allow for this web application, and so on. So even though we are just deploying a simple web application into the Azure environment, the security is enforced at multiple levels, including identity, platform, data, code, and this will involve multiple tools which are offered over the Azure portal to help organization get started with the resources available into the cloud infrastructure. Now, if you talk about how we can go and manage the governance and compliance, you have the Azure specific solution. You can go and use Microsoft Trust Center. That site allows you to get into the broad set of international and industry specific standards. You can include ISO, SOC, GDPR, HIPAA compliance. You can go and use all of these features inside the business application to get more insights and apply governance for your business resources deployed over the cloud infrastructure. So with that example, we were able to understand what are those core capabilities inside the Azure infrastructure through which we can protect our applications and resources deployed into the cloud environment. You can use many other solutions of security, which is not there on the slide, but which are there on the Azure portal, which includes Defender for DevOps, which integrates the security into the pipeline of your deployment strategies. You can go and use Microsoft Security for Copilot, which is an AI-assisted incident investigation tool which can be used into the business setups. You can go and use Entra permission management controls which are available. You can use the workload identities with conditional access. You can go and configure confidential computing if you're working with virtual machines. With these solutions in place, you can go and manage all of your application infrastructure and services with security and with the security posture recommended by Microsoft. To summarize this, we can say Azure is a solution where you have a layered built-in security from identity to data. You will be having a shared responsibility model, which allows you to know about your role and define the set of permissions which are required to access certain resources within the business. Tools like Defender for Cloud, Sentinel, Entra ID, Key Vault forms the foundation building block of security for your custom applications. Those custom applications which can be in the form of infrastructure as a service, which can be in the form of platform as a service, or which may be consumed in SaaS solutions from Microsoft Cloud provider. You can go and follow the zero trust principles, which are always to go and enforce the least privilege principle, allow you to go and create an identity centric approach for security within the business setups. You can use the tools like policies, blueprint to meet the regulatory requirements, and you can go and use identity access management to enhance the security within the application infrastructure. This takes us to the basics of Azure security foundational tool introduction. Let's move further where we'll go and dive into the identity and access management service. When it comes to identity and access managed solution, we use Entra ID, formerly known as Azure Active Directory, and we use it to secure resources, provide least privilege principles, and of course, you can go and register your custom applications and get your app registration through the Entra ID management system. When it comes to Entra ID capabilities, the IAM basics and the role management introduction is important for you. We'll go and talk about how the role-based management works with Entra ID, what are the basics of Entra, how you can go and use the role-based access management, how we can go and use the authentication methods, which include not only a single factor authentication like username and password, but you can go and add multi-factor authentication as well. We'll talk about the conditional access. We'll look into identity protection and monitoring capabilities which are available. This will help you to go and manage your identities, access to the cloud services securely within the environment. Let's get started with Entra management features. When it comes to Entra, which formerly known as Azure AD, is the core identity provider for all Azure services. It allows you to go and do a centralized identity and access control within the business. It will help you with user and group management. It helps you with hybrid identity controls as well, where you can go and synchronize your identities from the on-prem to the cloud, and then you can go and configure whether you want to work with pass-through authentication, password hash synchronization, or you want to go and use federation with the on-premise Azure Active Directory services. It allows you not only for your employees to have access to the resources, but with the external user capabilities, you can go and use B2B and B2C setups as well. Every time someone logs into Azure portal or Microsoft 365 or any integrated app with Entra ID, there is an authentication which happens over the Entra ID system. And then based on your role-based access control requirement, you may be working as user administrator, you may be working as billing administrator, global administrator. These are some of those role-based access control which are available over the cloud infrastructure as well. Let's go and see how the Entra ID actually appears for end customers or the companies who are availing Microsoft Entra services. Here we have Azure subscription. I have Azure subscription which is running. Inside the Azure, you do have the capability of accessing the Entra ID. Once you access the Entra ID, the first page actually shows you about your licenses, your primary domain, your tenant ID, and of course, you will be able to go and manage the identity system from Entra console. Either you go and do this management right into the Azure portal, or otherwise, you can go and access the Entra management portal directly with the URL entra.microsoft.com. Any of the portals you are going to use, you get the same set of users, groups, devices, enterprise ID, domain management, services. They are very similar and synced into both the portal. If you want to go and create your identities into the portal, you can go to users and you can start creating your user account right into the Entra ID management. This identity will help you to go and get access over the resources which are either used on Microsoft 365 or Azure or Intune or Dynamic CRM. Entra ID is going to be a central identity store for us. Using this Entra ID control, you can go and manage your resources which are available at multiple Microsoft online services. You can see there are a few accounts which are already available there. If you want to go and build the account, you will be able to go and create accounts right from the create new user. The reason why this is grayed out to me is the account with which I have logged in do not allow me to go and build user account. This gives you an example of how role-based access control is going to regulate the security within the business. The user with which you have logged in, if do not have a specific permission or privileges, you will not be able to go and execute those actions. I have another subscription where I do have these permissions available to me. Let's go and access it. This is the global admin privilege account. And if I'll go to Entra ID here, I can go and see that I have these capability of working with user account, and also I can go and create new user account. This is how the role-based access control actually get effective and allow you to go and get only those permissions which are assigned to your role. Not only this, one of the important concept of Entra ID is to learn about the SKU with which you are working with. These license type of Entra ID helps you to get certain features activated into the Entra ID management console. You can go and use the free version of the Entra ID. You can use P1 version, P2 version, or you can use Microsoft Entra Suite. If you're working with Microsoft 365, your E3, E5 licenses do include these SKUs out of the box. How do these features impact your deployment capabilities? On a P2 license, I can go and configure, just a simple example for you. I can go and use a group management, which allows me with dynamic membership. I can go and use dynamic membership here. But if you do not have the right set of SKU available into the Entra ID, the same feature which you were accessing over the P2, you cannot go and do it over the other free license of Entra ID. So the role-based access control is going to play a important configuration for you. Along with that, the license type of Entra ID helps you to define which features will be activated and available into the cloud infrastructure for your business setup. This is how you can go and get started for your user management. You can go and create these users, groups. You can create external users, which can be categorized as the guest account or member account. And these identities helps you to assign the access or the privileges to the users and allow them access certain resources over the cloud infrastructure. You can go and create these security principles as a user, as a group, as a service principal. You can go and create managed identities if you want to go and use this into the business application infrastructure. There are a couple of key components when you are working with role-based access control, which includes the security principles. The security principle includes a user, a group, a service principal, or a managed identities. There are role definitions. These role definitions are available right into the roles and administration control. So you can go and select any of those roles which you want to go and take a look of. Let's go and take user admin privilege, user administrator. If you click over it, you will be able to see the user administrator role. And if you want to go and see the set of permissions available to this account, you can go and find it here. So there is a role definition, and the role definition actually defines the collection of permissions which are available. While you are creating these role-based access control, there is also a scope which is going to be defined. When you are on Azure management system, there are two role-based access control which you are going to deal with. One, which is defined at the Entra ID. You can go and use user admin, billing admin, Teams admin, Exchange admin, SharePoint admin. You can go through all these roles and do delegation within your business infrastructure. But these are all tenant defined roles. These are defined at the Entra ID level. If you have certain resources into the cloud infrastructure, you have to go and do that role-based access control at the resource management. You can go and do it at the management group or at the subscription, or you can go and do it at the resource group and resource level as well. We call it management infrastructure in Azure. The management infrastructure will start right from management group, where you can go and access all of your subscriptions which are mapped under these management group. If you want to go and define permission to a specific subscription, then you can go and search for subscription as well. While you access your subscription, you will be able to go and assign the permission only to this specific subscription. And this is where you have IAM control. If you don't want to define it at the subscription level, you can go and do it at resource group also. While you go and do a resource group access, you can find the services which you have deployed inside this container of a resource group. I do have certain application. I have app service plan. I have app services deployed. I have action group created. I have IAM control here, identity and access management control. And at this place, when you access your IAM, you get the roles which are specific to Azure resources, not the tenant level role, but these are the service level roles available to you. You can choose any role of your choice, and you can see more details around that role. What set of permissions the owner will be able to get, the actions which the owners are allowed to take on Azure services. You can see the full list of permissions, and we'll not browse through all of them because there are thousands of permissions available to owner. But as you go more granular, as you go and select a specific role, a specific app related role, those permissions will be limited. For example, if I'll go and search for a storage account, on the storage account, I do have certain roles which are available. Here we have the storage account contributor, encryption, the blob contributor, you have the blob delegator, you have file data privilege. All these are storage account specific role. If I'll select one of the role and I'll try to view its permissions, definitely there are very limited permissions to this role, because this is a very specific role for Azure service feature which have been created out of the box. The next question could be, can we go and create our own roles? if we have a custom requirement, can we go and build our own roles? Answer is yes, you can go and create your own custom roles in the business as well. Can we go and do it at the Entra ID? Yes, you are also allowed to go and build these roles on Entra ID management control as well. So you can find a list of roles at Entra. If this is not something you are looking out for, you will be able to go and use new custom role feature. This new custom role feature, because of my role limitation, I don't see it. But you can go and create custom roles based on your business application. This gives you a introduction to what Entra ID is and how you can go and work with role-based access control into the Entra ID management system. Not only this, the Entra ID also gives you controls in terms of password management. So if you go back to Entra ID management, we just had an introduction to Entra ID. We discussed about what role-based access control is and how you can go and use it at the tenant level, at the resource level. We do have controls which are defined as multi-factor authentication. Rather than just relying on a single factor, which can be a username and password, the traditional way of authenticated over any resource is to go and provide your username and password. But with that single factor authentication, we are not able to go and get the best security posture within the organization. The Microsoft recommendation is to go and add multiple factors of authentication, which includes a combination of something you know, a username and password, something you have. It can be your authenticator app, your registered mobile. It can be a security. It can be a FEDO security key. It can be a RSA token, and something you are, which can be your biometrics, your facial recognitions, which can be integrated with Windows Hello for Business, which can be used with the hardware compatible to have fingerprint scanners. Those solutions can be added to go and provide you authentication capabilities, which are enhanced to protect your identities inside the cloud infrastructure. Multi-factor authentication is critical as it actually allows you to go and add more security to the identity-based attacks. You can enforce multi-factor authentication from multiple ways. You can go and use it at a user level. You can define it for your organization-wide setting by using security defaults, or you can go and trigger multi-factor authentication using conditional access controls as well. In this case, we can go back to the Entra ID management, where we have Entra ID controls. You can go to a user, and you can find there is a per user configuration available to you. So you can click on per user configuration, select a user of your choice, and then you can go and get MFA enabled at the user level. If you want to go and connect it with a conditional access policy, then you have to go back to your subscription where you do have the P2 licenses available. And now you can go to conditional access. While you are on Entra ID conditional access, I may need to go and do a refresh on the portal. While you go through the conditional access configuration, you can go and use either the pre-created policies which are available to you, or you can go and use a new set of permissions as well. Go and access it. So you can go to the conditional access management, And in the conditional access capabilities, you have two options. You can either go and use the Entra ID management with the help of multi-factor authentication as one of the outcome. You can go and work with the signals which have been generated, or you can go and use the cloud infrastructure with the pre-created template of conditional access policies. How does it actually looks like? You have this access right over here. You go to entra.microsoft.com. There we go. You log in with the account who have the privileges. I'm already enabled with MFA, so I'll just complete this MFA. Here we are. And this is the account where I do have the global privileges. I can go and search for Entra conditional access, where you can find that there are two policy configuration. Either you can go and use some of the template based conditional access policies available to you, or you can go and use a policy which is customized based on your business requirement. When you create these policies, you have option to define the conditions which you want to go and look out for the risk associated with the identities. And then as the grant control, you can actually go and configure a multi-factor authentication to be used. So in case any of these signals have been generated by the ID, accessing certain resources, logging from specific location, accessing through certain device, if those conditions met the risk criteria identified into the signals, then you can go and push user into multi-factor authentication. So you can go and create new policies, and these conditional access policies along with multi-factor authentication lets you control access based on conditions such as user role, user group, user location, user device compliance, risk level, application type. All these conditions are available right over here. Some of those conditions are user risk, sign-in risk, insider risk, the device platform, the location you can go and use. You can perform these configuration based on your business needs. For example, I can go and say, I want to go and look out for every user risk which have been identified as high. The sign-in risk, if have been identified as high, medium, if the user location is one of the network I want to go and allow from the selected network, all the network location, you can go and build conditions on that basis. And of course, the client application, which client application you want to go and look out for, the browser-based authentication, mobile application, exchange, other client, you can configure these policies and then you can push user with these access control. That's one of the feature which is available into Entra ID management for controlling the condition-based access. This is the like what if condition. If this signal is being generated, what you want to do after this? You can go and build this setup. Entra ID also offers you privileged identity management configuration. The PIM capability enables just-in-time access for admin role instead of accessing permanent access to the users, and you can go and do assignation of the role based on eligibility. And in that case, the role needs to be activated temporarily for a specific period of time, based on which the role activation is going to be triggered. You can go and attach approval workflow to it. You can create notification and alert. You can define access reviews for your identities. You can go and perform auditing and reporting over that as well. If you want to go and do privileged identity management, you can simply type PIM, Entra ID Privileged Identity Management. You go to the portal. Under the portal configuration, you have controls of to whom you want to go and assign these privileges. I can go to Entra Roles. I'll click on Assign Eligibility, and then I can go and assign this role, which is available right over here. Let's say I want to give someone a user admin role. So I can search for user administration. I can select this role, and then I can see there are few users to whom I have already given this assignment. I can go and say I want to get a new user into this role. With this, I can go and assign a user into this capability. Here we are. Select the member. I'll go and use one of the member available to me. Let's say I want to give this to Johnny. I want to make Johnny the user admin, but when he is going to activate his privileges, this assignation is only limited to certain period, which I can go and define for how long these privileges will be available to the user. Second, I can go and do a lot more control over the user administrator role as well. Where can I go and get more control? I can go to role and administration, where the user role capabilities are available. Takes few minutes to refresh. We'll go to the user administration role. And when you click over this role, you can go to role settings. Using the role settings, you can actually go and configure how this role will be available, even if you have PIM or you have assigned the user without the PIM. So there is the activation time. You can go and decide how long this activation will be there for the user. Do the user need to have MFA enabled, or do you want to go and use conditional access? Do you want to have justification for this? Who will be the approver for this user? You can see I'm the only user who is right now as approver, but you can go and add more users based on your business requirement. And then you can go into next. You can make this eligibility permanent or active. You can go and require justification for active assignment, for multi-factor authentication. Next, you can go and define who will get this notification when someone is being assigned to eligible for this role, if the assignment is active for the role, or if someone have activated this role. This is the assignation type, and this is the one when the user have activated their role. On that activation, the user is going to get a notification to whom you have assigned these alert type. You can go and perform these tasks based on your unique identity requirement. Now, once you have these permission assigned, you can actually go and log in with that user and see how the activation process actually looks to you. I can go and do a login with one of my user who is there and who is part of my user administration role as well. Let's use this user. I'll go to entra.microsoft.com. I'll go and access. Okay, I'll go and log out from my account. will go and access with the user account. The user is enabled for MFA as well. So I'll go and approve this sign in. Once the sign in is approved, the user can go and access PIM controls. You then can go to my role. User have user administrator role assigned. This is the way the user Alex and others, Johnny, to whom I have assigned the role, will be able to see their portal. I'll click activate. And because there is a workflow for justification, I have to go and give the justification why, as this user, I want to go and elevate my privileges. Why I want to go and take user admin role. I have to give that justification. Here we are. It asks me how long you want to get access to, which ticketing system you are working with. Let's say I'm using ServiceNow. What is the ticket number? I have incident, a dummy number to that incident, and need to assign user John permissions for access. I can give justification and then I can click activate. Your request is pending for approval. Who is the approver? This user is the approver. So now when this user go and access PIM again, goes to approve request, he see that Adley is looking out for approval. Here we have Adley have just requested for the approval. I can go select this user and do approve. Justification allowed to perform required changes. Now, in this way, one, I'm adding a workflow where user will not be able to just go and elevate their privilege silently. It have to take approval from the approver of that particular role. Second, I have added one more layer of verification where the approver can actually go back, see this information on the portal, can verify that yes, really this incident or change requires the privileges to be changed. And then you can go and confirm it. Once this has been done, we'll come back to the user and we will see that this user now have a access which is active. And this access is active for the configuration which have been done during request or during the role management. This is how you can go and build a more secure solution within your organization, not only to go and protect your Entra IDs, but with the advanced features like conditional access, multi-factor authentication, privileged identity management, role-based access controls. You will be able to go and take more granular approach for identity-based security within your business setups. With this, we have discussed identity management control. So we discussed about how you can go and work with Entra ID. We discussed about role-based access control, multi-factor authentication, conditional access, privilege identity management, and of course, you do have identity protection and monitoring capabilities. When you are working with identity protection controls or management, you will be able to identify the user risk-based policies to flag risky user sign-in or compromised account. You can go and look out for sign-in logs to show who signed in, from where they have signed in, how and whether they use the multi-factor authentication or not. You can use audit log to track the activities and admin activities as well. You can go and integrate these logging system with Sentinel for advanced investigation, for hunting. You can go and use these log data. So whenever there is a risk which is going to get detected, you can go and create a remediation task. If the Sentinel have been integrated, you will be able to get the SIM and SOAR capability so that you can go and take corrective action based on your business application requirements. Where do we see this control? You go back to your portal. Of course, not with the user. Go with the portal access where you have admin account. And inside those admin configurations, you can actually go and get all these controls available into your Entra ID management system. And inside this Entra ID management system, you see identity protection. Inside the identity protection, you can find risky users. You can see the report of risky users right over here. You will be able to go and use the identity protection like conditional access, identity protection, security center. You click on identity protection, it takes you to a dashboard where the attacks, number of users protected, high risk user, everything is available to you. Along with that, you can see the user risk policy which is available. Do you want to assign this user risk policy? Which level of configuration for the policy you want to go and deploy? You can configure your multi-factor authentication. You can go and define where these logging systems are. And on the basis of those reports which gets generated right over here, you have sign-in logs, audit logs, provisioning log, health log. You can go and see a lot more details of who did what into your organization. And then this information can be added to Sentinel by using the connectors of Entra ID. This is how you can go and configure the identity-based security within the organization. What we have discussed into this section of our Entra ID based security method. We talked about Entra ID as the heart of Azure identity management capability, how to go and use role-based access control, how to enforce multi-factor authentication, how to use conditional access, how you can go and configure privileged identity management, and of course, how the identity protection and monitoring allows the organization to get the best security posture for their identity which are being used for application access or resource management. That completes our discussion around the identity management service. We'll take a 5-minute break here. Post this break, we'll go and talk about the data and application security in Azure.
Thank you so much, Ranjit. Hello, everyone. I am Ria, and now I would like to take over and go through the badge redemption part. I'm excited to announce that all the participants in today's masterclass have been given exclusive free access to AZ500 courseware. The best part is you also get to claim your digital achievement badges on Microsoft Learn to celebrate your fundamental skilling journey. Issued by Microsoft, these badges can help you highlight your newly acquired skills and boost your career potential. Let's take a quick look at the steps that you need to follow. So on right hand side you can see a scanner. By scanning this using your mobile, you can easily access our mobile page for badge redemption. And now I'll just scroll, and now you can see this redeem your security courseware and certificate button over here. By clicking on this, you can redeem your certificate, and I'll just go through the three steps that you need to follow to redeem your courseware and certificate. So step number one is to sign into your Microsoft Learn account using your personal or professional Outlook or Hotmail account. And if you're already signed in, you will directly see step 2 with redeem your code dialog already pre-filled over there. Now over here also you can see a button which is clickable. By clicking on this, you can easily access your certificate in courseware. Now step 2 is you can see this pop up. This will pop up to your screen, and your unique code will be already pre-filled over there. You don't have to add anything. You just need to click on redeem button over here, and you can easily redeem your courseware or certificate from here. Now in last step, you will see message we have added your achievements to your profile. You just need to click on view profile button, and now you can access your Microsoft courseware module from training tab. So we'll just quickly show you the example. This is how your courseware redemption certificate redemption page would look like. So you just have to follow these three steps to download your certificate. So you need to click on achievements, then go to step 2, which is courses. Then on step 3, you can see a printer icon over here. You need to click on this to generate certificate, and now you can download a certificate from here and showcase your certificate in your social media or on your LinkedIn. And if you have any question regarding badge redemption part, our team is there in chat box. You can write your question to our team and they will help you with that. And with that, I would like to leave you for the break. Thank you so much.
Sure, we are now going to take a 5-minute break, but before we do that, we are going to launch a quick poll that we want to invite you to participate in. Doing so helps us know how we can better serve you by telling us who might be interested in more information or in taking some additional training. In addition, we have a lot more informative webinars coming up, so please go to netcomlearning.com/webinars in order to register.
Back after this break, and we will continue our discussion over the cloud management for security. In our next topic, we are looking at how you can go and do the security management for data and application. So we'll go and talk about the Azure capabilities to protect the data at rest and in transit and secure your application through policies, encryption, and access control solutions. Into this, we try to identify how Azure protect data which can be at rest on your storage account, or it may be over your SQL database management system. So you can go and talk about relational data or unstructured data. Any of those solutions you are working into your storage system, you can go and protect it using the Azure capabilities of encrypting the data. Tools like Key Vault, storage encryption, disk encryptions are there to go and help organizations protect their infrastructure. We do have app level securities which are available on app services, AKS, or API management system. If you're working with, you can go and use those app level security configurations. You can go and include the DevSecOps principles to secure your development infrastructure, as well as you can go and use Microsoft Defender for Cloud as a unified protection platform for your services. Let's begin. Let's get into more details of how the security solutions can be worked with. The first solution which we are looking at is all the data in Azure is protected by default, whether it is at rest or it is in transit. At rest, Azure encrypts all the data using the AES 256 standards, applies to blob storage, SQL databases, managed disk, all those services do protect your information. While you are deploying these services into the cloud, you do have controls to manage the keys for the encryption. Those keys can be provided by the platform. We also call it Microsoft managed keys or platform provided keys. Or you can go and use the key management system like Key Vault to host your own keys, which are referred as customer managed keys. Let's go and see some of those configurations in the storage account. I have my subscription. Inside this subscription, we do have a storage account. When you are creating a new storage account or you have your existing storage account, you do have capabilities to go and secure your storage account using encryption controls available to you. While you are working with encryption, it gives you a quick brief of what this service will help you with. This service helps you to protect the data at rest. Azure Storage encrypts your data as it's written in our data center and automatically decrypts it when you go and access it. There are two options to go and work with it. You can go and use Microsoft managed keys out of the box. This is the default option when you go and create your storage account. But if you want, you can go and do it with customer managed keys as well. This is the control which is available in case you are moving some data from your on-prem to the cloud, and in your on-premises, you have been using your own keys. You want to go and use the same configuration over the cloud. When you are migrating your applications, when you are migrating your data, you want to go and use the same keys over the cloud. You can go and do it with the help of key management system. When you go and configure this key, you need to go and define the managed identity system through which the storage account will connect to that Key Vault service. That also introduced you to Entra ID managed identity capabilities. While you are working with storage account, you can go and enable either a system assigned identity or a user assigned identity. When you create a system assigned identity, account gets created, which is directly connected to the storage account. Till the time the storage account is active, it's up, it's there into the portal, the identity will be associated to it. When you delete the storage account, the identity also gets deleted. But if you want to go and manage this identity on your own, you can go and create a user assigned identity. When you create a user assigned identity, you have to go and build it right from here. You have to go to managed identities, and then you have to build your user identity. Then only you'll be able to go and use this identity configuration. This is where the storage account is going to help you to go and encrypt your data within the organization. But does it mean that you can go and create a secure channel when the data is in transit? How do we go and secure that setup? While you are creating your storage account services, you do have those settings into the management control as well. You can go and find the configuration tab where you will have the details of how you can go and secure the data which is in transit. Here it is. Here you have the solution to go and build a secure data in transit feature for your storage account. This is not something which is only available in storage account. You can find similar set of settings into your SQL configurations as well. So if you're working with solutions where the data is at rest, we are encrypting that with the help of encryption keys. And if you are moving your data from one application tier to another application tier, or maybe a server to a client, then the information is also being protected. So when it says data in transit, the data in transit is going to be protected using the TLS 1.2 or higher. You can enable the HTTPS only for configuration in your app services, into your API, into your storage endpoints. You do have controls to go and protect your account or data which is there in the storage account with help of network setting controls as well. So you can go and define to whom you want to go and allow access to the data using the network configurations. If you want to be more specific, if you want to project one of the services available in your storage account, when you create a storage account with general purpose configuration, you get containers, file share, queues, table. If you want this storage account to be available from the service category, you want to use one service to be accessible inside one of the virtual network you have built, you can go and do it with the help of private endpoint connections as well. While you create a private endpoint connection, it allows you to go and create a private endpoint which will project one of the services from the storage account. You can use blob, tables, queues, files. I'll go and say blob to one of the virtual network which exists into my network configuration. And those devices which are within that subnet will be able to go and access the storage over the Microsoft backbone network. This is also the capability through which you are actually securing your data. And in case you want to go and do it at the storage service level, you don't want to do it at a storage account or a service available with the storage account, you can go and do this management from the virtual networks. You can create service endpoint connection. So I can go access my same network where I was planning to create a private endpoint. If I want to make all storage account available within a subnet for backbone based connectivity, I can go and use service endpoint configuration, where I can go and add a service provider named Microsoft.storage. This resource provider will be available with service endpoint configuration within this virtual network subnet. So I'll go and select it, and then I have to go and uh, give the information about which subnet this particular account access would be allowed. This is how you can go and manage some of the configuration of securing your data at the storage account level. If you do have some of services which goes in categories of platform as a service, I have one of my subscription where I have platform services enabled. Let's go and access it. I have app services for me. App services is one of the platform solution which can be used in the businesses to set up your applications, which may be in ASP.NET, Java, PHP, those platforms. Java, you can go and use Windows platform, or you can use the Linux platform to host your code over the Microsoft provided platform. While you are building these app services, you can go and configure the security setting for these apps as well. Here we have the solution. While you are building your service configuration, you can go and define, do you want to have database with it? Do you want to go and do the deployment through continuous integration? And how do you want to go and use authentication for this application? The basic authentication, do you want to go and enable it? Or later on, you can go and use it with the help of your Entra ID management controls as well. You can define the virtual network integration controls, which depends on the plan you have selected. And you can also make a selection to enable public access to this app service or disable public access to this. Once the app services have been created, you can actually go to the app service configuration, which is available to you. And inside this, you do have a lot of controls available, not only for scaling your applications, for scaling up, scaling out, to add custom domain, to define backups, but from the point of view of security, you can go and define the authentication controls which you want to go and use with your custom app. You can go and add the identity provider. You can define managed identities, very similar to storage account, just in case you are using this app service and there is a database which runs in the background. To connect to that database, you need a connection string. Rather than storing the connection string inside the code, you can go and store that connection string in key vault services. And in that case, you need your key vault you need your app service to connect to the key vault and fetch that detail to get access to the database services. For those scenarios, you can go and again create a system assigned identity or user assigned identity for the web applications. You can go and define certificate based authentication, certificate binding for your web applications as well. You can go and define the configurations which are available to go and protect your data in transit configuration. Let's go and see that. Go and access the configurations. And inside the configuration, you can go and define your protocols to go and add the version capabilities you want to go and use within it. Do you want to go and do HTTPS only configuration? Which version of the TLS you want to go and configure for your inbounds? Here, you will be able to go and define the security for your platform services, not only for the data which is stored in form of storage or databases, but for application, if you are in transit, if you are making request and the data moves from server to client, you do have the controls of providing security over that data as well. Now, this is where we have seen platform services, the storage account, where you can go and apply security. You can go and use app services as well. You can go and work with encryption at rest and transit as well. There's a one service which is referred as Key Vault, which I have given you reference into my discussion. Key Vault is one of the solution which allows you to secure the place, which is going to be a secure place to store secret keys and certificates. Now, when you are working with any of your custom application or you are working with off-the-shelf application and you want to go and store any confidential information which is required for your application stack to work, to integrate, you can go and store that confidential information inside the Key Vault services. Use cases can be to go and store your DB connection strings, your API keys, your certificates. You can go and generate keys. You can go and use your custom keys inside the Key Vault storage, and then you can configure your storage services to use those keys as well. So integrating the secrets into application without hard coding that information inside the application is something which you will be able to achieve with Key Vault configuration. How do you access this Key Vault management system? You go back to the portal. Okay, let me go and choose the subscription where we can go and do the Key Vault management. I'll go to the Key Vaults. I can go and create a Key Vault service for me. While I'm creating a Key Vault service, it is going to ask you the resource group. It will ask you a Key Vault name, which has to be globally unique so that you can access it from anywhere. I'll go and say this is Key Vault 17, 17, 2020, just to make it a unique name. Then you can go and use HSM bagged keys for the Key Vault, or you can use the standard one. We'll use standard. You can go and get a recovery vault created for this as well, just to make sure that if you accidentally delete something, you'll be able to retain that information into the vault. You have purge protection capabilities. You can go and use identity management system right over here. You can use Azure role-based access control, which is very common throughout the Azure ecosystem, or there is something which is very uniquely designed to help Key Vault access. This is referred as Key Vault access policy. Microsoft recommend to use role-based access control, but if needed, you can move to Vault policies and you can create the Vault access configuration where permissions are listed for you to go and define keys permissions, secret permissions, and certificate permissions. While you are doing it, you can go and define few of those controls to be given to the principals. Those principals can be the accounts which you have created, or those can be your managed identities, service principal. You can go and add those accounts into your application environment. And then you can optionally add your application configuration. This is the solution through which the Key Vault allows you to go and define either a role-based access control or the access policy-based access for your Key Vault services. While we are doing it, let's go and do this storage account creation. Inside the storage account, I do have the controls where I have configuration available to me. Inside these configurations, I do have control of TLS. I can go and do the security of transit and security of management. I have my app services where we have the solution of managed identity, or let's say I have a virtual machine. Let's go and create a managed identity with the virtual machine. Here we have VM. This VM can be configured with a managed identity. When I create a system managed identity, the name of the identity is exactly the same name of the virtual machine. So I have this virtual machine enabled with system managed identity. I can go to my VM and I can use my Key Vault services with that configuration. I can go and give the my VM account either a role-based access or access policy can be associated with this managed account. With that configuration, the virtual machine will be allowed to access the Key Vault with the set of permissions you assign. The keys permission, the secrets permission, and the certificate permission. It will be able to go and use those resources based on the permission assignation. This is how the Key Vault and the app services or virtual machines can be connected together. This is what you will be able to go and get over the key vault configuration. Now, of course, you do have app services and platform security controls available to you. We have discussed about it. I have shown you this control where the app services, which is a platform as a service solution from Microsoft, you can go and secure that hosting platform over the cloud infrastructure as well. You do have TLS enforced settings. You can go and use the built-in integration with the key vault configurations. You can go and use identity-based access management for your managed identities which are available to you. If you're working with services like Kubernetes, which is again a platform solution for you, you can go and deploy network policies. You can go and integrate it with Key Vault services. You can go and do a pod identity for secure service to service authentication as well. You can go and combine your Azure policies to go and manage the compliance and governance over app service or Kubernetes or virtual machine based solutions also. By performing these tasks, you make sure that your services are protected and available only to the designated or only to the right set of identities you have created into your environment, or it may be the external identities to whom you want to share these access. If you're working with API management control, which is also a platform solution available, you can go and perform the authentication via subscription keys. You can go and configure OAuth based configuration. You can define rate limits. You can define IP filtering. You can go and create the backend validation with API inspector. These are some of the tools which are available for your API management controls as well. The APIM is going to help you for internal services by managing the external exposure to those services into your business application. You can go and use private endpoints. We have discussed these private endpoints as well. You can go and use private endpoint with platform services. You can use private endpoints with your app services, which provides you a restricted access with a Azure backbone based traffic management. So they are optimized not only for routing, but they are also optimized for securing your communication only over the Azure backbone setup. You don't have to route your traffic over the internet. You can go and use DevOps based security solutions. You can integrate the Azure security early into your software development lifecycle. If you are building some custom solutions over the cloud, Azure support many services which allow your developer team to create resources, to deploy application, to define your CI/CDs, to go and use GitHub solutions over the cloud. You can go and use static code analysis. You can use CodeQL. You can use Sonar Cloud. You can do the dependency scanning inside the business with the help of identifying vulnerable packages into your environment. And of course, you can secure your CI/CD pipelines using Azure DevOps or the GitHub Actions, which are available to you. When it comes to securing your secrets for DevOps practices, you can again go and rely on Azure Key Vault services for these integrations. Now, at last, if you go and use Microsoft Defender for Cloud, this is the tool which provide you two core capabilities. One is cloud workload protection, CWP, and second is cloud security posture management, CS, cloud security posture management, CSP. So when you go into your portal and try to search for cloud, for Defender for Cloud, here we are. If you search for Defender for Cloud, this is how the tool appears for you. It gives you the controls through which you can get the visibility of your inventory, as well as you can go and apply protection across multiple resources. Those resources includes virtual machine, app services, container, Azure Kubernetes services, databases, storage account, API. Lot of resources can be protected. The core capabilities include creating secure score for you so that it's easier for you to identify the Microsoft recommendations for security over the resources you have deployed. It gives you actionable hardening advices, how you can go and secure the services you have deployed. It's not going to just give you a secure score, which you see here, the secure score capabilities which are available to you. It just do not just share that secure score, but actually helps you to understand the recommendations which are coming into your service application environment. And over that, you can go and find how you can go and do protection for your services, as well as how you can go and set up your cloud security posture according to the Microsoft recommendations. You go to security posture, it will give you the quick details on the dashboard. Few minutes to refresh. For regulatory compliance, you have a dashboard. You do have your secure score controls which are available. You can go and do workload protection capabilities and think this as your security control center from where you can go and deploy multiple levels of security, and you can also manage the governance compliance standards. Just taking some more time, let's go and do one thing. Let's try to first find out those resources which you can go and protect using your Defender capability. So if I'll go scroll down to the subscription I'm using right now, this is the subscription. On the subscription, I can go and see my Defender plans. There are two plan types available to you, a free plan and of course the paid plan. When you go and use paid plan, you get more information. So there is a foundational cloud security posture management capability, which is free, which is available to every tenant. And then if you want to get more insightful deployment of the security tool, you can go and use Defender plan. This plan is going to be a billable solution for you, $5 per billable resource per month. And how many resources you have protected, you will be able to see that. When you go and use this tool, what are the core capabilities? They are going to be listed right over here. So if you want to go and do a comparison between a foundational security posture management and the paid security posture management, you'll be able to see those details here. Just taking some time to refresh. But when you access your Defender details, it will go and give you the information about it. Let's try it from one more place. I have my lab machine running. Let's see if it is easier to go and access this configuration over the lab environment. I'll go to Defender. I'll go to environment settings. Inside the environment settings, we'll again go and scroll down to the subscription we are using. On that subscription, you can see there is a Defender plan available. On the Defender plan, when you go and click details, here is the list. Yeah, so it was just my browser which was taking time. So if you want to see in the free account, what are the features available to you? These are the free services which are provided. Along with that, if you go and pay for the security solution, for the security posture management service, you will be able to get added with all these features in your security tool, in your Defender for Cloud. You can go and experience this 30 days free trial as well. This is into your cloud security posture management capability. What if you want to go and protect your resources? You do have cloud workload protection controls, and the services which are available for the Defender plan to secure our servers, app services, databases, storage, container, AI, key vault, resource group, and API management. And you can see you have the billing for all these services. You can click on the plan and it will let you know if you use plan 1, what type of services are available and what security features you are going to miss out. If you go and use plan number 2, what are the security features which gets activated? Now we are just looking at virtual machine, but you can go and do it for app services. You can go and find out for databases as well. So Defender for Cloud is going to give you a lot of information around your security posture, as well as it will have the tools to go and protect your resources through attacks. So you can go and see any security alerts which are available to you. You can do the alert management. You can go and do attack path analysis for the alerts which have been identified. You can go and use the security tool for regulatory compliance, which offers Microsoft Cloud Security Benchmark to you. Here it is, Microsoft Cloud Security Benchmark, which have all of those configurations through which you can secure your services, how to go and secure your network solutions, how to go and secure your identity solutions, how you can go and secure your privileged accesses. Not only just information, you click over control details and it evaluates this particular rule on your subscription and gives you suggestion. Is there something which you need to go and do for your application? For me, everything looks good. I can go back to identity, see there are identity rules available. Let's go and check this control, your actions. It takes few minutes to refresh depending on which rule you have selected. And you can find the resources are protected into your environment. And then if there is any rule which needs you to go and take corrective actions, you will be able to get into that detail and it will give you a step-by-step remediation process. How you can go and make sure you can protect your SQL with Azure Active Directory only authentication enabled. This is the step-by-step configuration of how this can be achieved inside the business environment. This helps you to learn about few of those core configurations through which you can go and secure your data and applications inside the cloud environment. We did all these demos. Let's move to the last section of this masterclass, which talks about threat detection and incident response. It is important to help your security team detect, investigate, and respond to the threats by using tools which can use machine learning, which can use Microsoft Threat Intelligence Engine, which can help you to automate the responses and do not wait for your analytics or your analyst to go and respond to the alerts being created. So you can go and achieve that security orchestration and automation inside your business using the tool available as one, Defender for Cloud, which helps you to detect and prioritize your threats. We have seen that capability. The second tool which is available to us is Sentinel. Using the Sentinel, you can go and use the SIMSOAR capabilities into the business setup. You can use incident management controls available. You can create playbooks. You can do automated response for it. You can do proactive hunt management into threat hunt management into the Sentinel controls as well. If you talk about Sentinel, the Defender for Cloud have the cloud security posture management control. The Defender for Cloud offers you cloud workload protection capabilities. So you want to do posture management, you can do it with the secure scores. You want to do threat protection, you do have many resources starting from infrastructure as a code like virtual machine to platform services like API management, container services, app services. You can go and protect that whole spectrum of services using the Defender controls. These workload can be protected with just-in-time access, with SQL, storage, container. So you will have the control, not only in terms of recommendations which are available to you, but you can go and do the workload protection capabilities as well. Where do you see these workload protection? You go back to the portal, Defender for Cloud, and inside the Defender for Cloud, you have this workload protection tab. Under the workload protection tab, you will be able to see all your security related solutions, VM vulnerability assessment, just-in-time access, container image scanning is one of the solution available to you. SQL vulnerability assessment you can go and work with. If you're working into hybrid setup with Arc enabled SQL servers on premises, you can scan, you can use that solution also. You can use IoT services, API security. You can go and use file integrity monitoring. You can perform a lot of tasks of workload protection into infrastructure categories as well as platform categories by using these controls. You can click on one of these solutions. I do have a virtual machine. You can see there is one recommendation. Virtual machine should have vulnerability findings resolved. Let's go and see what this recommendation talks about. Here it is. Machine should have vulnerability assessment solution deployed. What is the remediation step? You have to go and manual remediation is required to deploy the assessment solution. Is there any affected resource I have? Yes, I have my virtual machine which have not yet deployed with vulnerability scanning controls. You should go and deploy either Microsoft tool or non-Microsoft tool, depends on your business, but this is one of the requirements through which you can go and harden the security for your infrastructure as a service. What type of security risk it possesses, the initial access tactics, which is part of your Meteor framework. You can go and find healthy resources, not applicable resources, and then of course you can go and do a lot of investigation in different categories of workload protection. You want to see if there is any virtual machine which has been enabled for just-in-time access. Yes, there is a machine which is active now. There is one request which has been approved. You can capture all of this information right into your Defender portal. This is specifically the workload protection capabilities which are available on the cloud environment. Here we have the cloud workload protection services and management control. So starting from suspicious VM login to crypto mining to lateral movement, you can go and get alerts on the real-time threats. The system is going to give you the hardened resource suggestions, how to go and secure your resources, just-in-time access, integration with endpoint management and Defender, the XDR solution. You can go and ingest this information on multiple platforms of cloud management services. What about Sentinel? Sentinel, when we talk about Sentinel, it allows you for security information and event management controls. It also have the capability of orchestration, automation, and response for your incidents related to security, for your events related to security. Sentinel does three main configurations for you. One, it is able to ingest log from Azure, from Microsoft 365, for firewalls, third-party tools. It helps you to correlate that information using the analytic rules to detect the complex threats which may have been there into your business, which may go unnoticed because of the complexity of that threat. We are deploying these resources to make sure that we can use the best of threat protection capabilities. We can use machine learning. We can use correlated data coming from multiple sources to go and identify the smallest footprint of any cyber attack within the organization. How we can go and do that? We can go and use Sentinel within the business application. So I can go to Sentinel solution. We have Sentinel. Okay, that's the wrong spelling, Sentinel. We go to Sentinel. I have already deployed the Sentinel. We don't want to go and spend time into creating the Sentinel solution for you. So we have already created this. Inside the Sentinel management, you do have option to go and get all of the features experienced for 1 month. You can go and activate it. It gives you a quick information around what this tool is able to help you with. Install the first Content Hub solution. So you need to go and connect this tool to those resources from where you want to fetch information. You want to fetch the logs. You want to fetch the events. Second, once the data gets collected, then you can go and create your analytic rules, which enable you to detect threats or suspicious activities over the connected resources. And third, you will be able to go and automate and orchestrate the response. Where do we start from? We start right from data connectors. Inside the data connectors, you do have controls to go and add your resources. If you want to go and add your own data connector, you can go and do that. If you want to go and use the existing solutions, which are like template coming from Microsoft, for that, you need to go to Content Hub. There are many solutions which are already available to you. You can search for one of your service which you want to go and integrate with Sentinel. I have installed Azure Activity Log, which is getting ingested inside Sentinel. But imagine I have Entra ID capability as well. So is there something related to Entra? Let's go and search for that. Yes, of course, you can go and use Entra controls. You can use Entra ID protection. You can use health monitoring and health service. There are many solutions of Entra which are available to you. If you go and add Entra ID, what will be available to me? I'll be able to go and look out for all of this information. That looks good. Let's go and add this. I just need to go and say install. With this, as the name suggests, it's a content hub. So it's actually a package of a data connector which helps me to connect to my Entra ID. It contains some of those workbooks through which I can display information. It's like a visualization of the data which have been ingested inside it. I do have certain analytic rule which helps me to detect threats and respond to them as well. Along with that, I do have playbooks, which is my automation, which gives me a step-by-step configuration to manage my security controls. So one Content Hub solution, when you go and deploy it, you will be able to get all of them in one single package. You can go to manage. You can see all these details in more dedicated page for you. Here we have the provider, the support who is going to provide you information around analytic rules, data connector. All the rules are listed. The data connector has been listed. You'll be able to see your workbooks as well. This is the data connector which you need to go and configure. Some of these connectors require you to get permissions. Some of these connectors will require you to get some resources deployed. You have to go through that process. So get these data connectors available. You need to go and work with the data connector. This data connector will allow you to go and configure your Entra ID connections. Okay, so it gives you this quick information. It will allow you to go and select the resources based on your business application. So you can select your data connectors, open the data connector page, and here you'll be able to see what are the prerequisites for this connector to work for you. You need to get a read-write permission on Microsoft Diagnostic settings. You need to get a global administrator or security administrator permission on the workspace tenant, and you need to have the read-write permissions. Once you get all of these done, you will be able to go and get connected to Entra. So Sentinel is going to give you automation, but Sentinel is based on role-based access control of Entra. If you are not able to get the right set of privileges with your ID, you will not be able to go and work with the core capabilities of the SIMSOAR solution of Microsoft. I have one of that already connected, because even if you go and do that, it takes time for the connector to work. I did it with Microsoft Azure Activity. So if you go to Azure Activity, you can actually see this Azure Activity configuration. Let's go and use that. Manage. Every connector have very similar configuration. It will go and show you some of the analytic rule. It will go and give you the information about the connector. How many connectors are available? Do you want to go and manage this connector? You can go and do all of these configurations. It takes some time for these connectors to get started, but here is a simple solution. The set of privileges which is required, the set of controls which are required, you just need to go through this wizard to get the privileges available, and then you can start ingesting all your Azure activity, people logging in, logging off, creating services, changing the service configuration. Everything gets recorded into the logs and then gets ingested inside the Sentinel management system. Whenever Sentinel is going to detect threat, it generates incidents for you. So on the Sentinel, you do have the incident management capabilities. Inside these incident management, you can go and you can create incident. You can go and watch out for the alerts created from your sensitive applications, services. And based on that, you can go and create playbooks which can go and generate incident out of the alerts. So there is a concept of playbook as well. When you go into this incident management, you can do the investigation, you can see the timeline of the events, you can see the entities involved into this into the incident management system, alerts which are available to you. So there are a couple of configurations which you can go and do with the incident control system. You can go and perform management tasks. You can see how you can get started into the incident control as well. What are the core capabilities of the incident management and how you can go and get started with your application infrastructure. This is the incident response management system which is available to you. You can go and create the playbooks. I do have a playbook control available to me. Here we have the automation controls. Inside the automation, you do have the playbooks. These playbooks allow you to go and configure the automation inside your application. How you can go and create these playbooks? You have multiple options. You can go and create the playbook right from here. You have the options to do that. Otherwise, you can go and use some of those JSON templates which are available in the GitHub repo. From there also you can go and use some of the playbook examples. I have done it from the GitHub. You can go and click on this playbook. You can see what is the logic created behind this. So I have created a playbook, and that playbook have been associated to an automation rule, which says when alert is created, please go and run a playbook which is for change incident severity. What is there in this playbook? I can go and see that with the help of my logic app management, because these playbook ultimately are the logic app configurations which work for automation. You can go and say, I want to see what this playbook is all about. And inside the incident severity management, you can see when a response to the Azure Sentinel alert is triggered, alert needs to create an incident, get the incident information, then get the account information and change the incident severity to 2. You can select any of the steps and it will let you know what are the parameters which are going to be used inside this automation. If you want to change it, of course, you can go and change it. You can go and change it. You can go and connect it to certain specific Entra ID. You can go and define what sort of severity you want to go and change your incident into. This is what the automation capability of Sentinel looks like. You can go and use these playbooks to go and generate alert system, to create tickets into your ITSM portal. You can go and use it to disable some of the compromised account. You can use it to geo block a specific IP address. All that can be executed with the help of playbook environment. Not only this, but you can go and do the hunting and workbook management capabilities as well. So you can go and define your automation not only to go and search for the incidents which have been generated or which have been captured into Sentinel, but you can work with hypothesis of what will happen if this event happens into my business. That's what the threat hunting process will actually lead you to. You will be able to work with hypotheses. You will be able to create a proactive security posture within your organization to protect against any security threat which our organization may see in future. These are few of those controls through which we can go and manage our security posture. This is what we have just talked about, how you can go and work with cloud security posture management, cloud workload protection capability, event management, orchestration, automation, threat hunting, and workbook controls. That completes the fourth and the last topic for this masterclass, where we have seen some of the core configuration, how you can get started with Azure security concepts, with what are the principles and pillars of this security management, how Intra ID can be used to go and protect your identities, which include users, applications, service accounts, managed accounts, how you can go and work with securing data and application controls where data in transit and data at rest is going to be secure. If you're working with Kubernetes, app services, or container solutions, all of these services, which are platform services from Microsoft, do support the solution to first encrypt your data when it is in transit. Second, integrate with key vault like solutions so that your keys, certificates, connection strings, secrets can be stored at one place, and then using role-based access control or access policy, you can give access to your application. We looked at threat detection and response capabilities, how you can go and work with the tool like Sentinel and Defender for Cloud to manage your resources over the cloud environment. Now, this is all we have for this learning part. Next, we are looking at how your learning can get continued over the Microsoft platform with Netcom as the learning partner for you. What are the benefits of having certificates? You will be able to get more experience over the services. You will be feeling more confident over your deployments. You will be able to stand out when there is an opportunity for a cloud administrator, cloud security architect, or it may be a security admin, whatever role it is, you will be able to go and broadcast your skill set over LinkedIn, over Facebook, or on all your social platforms. You can go and share your certificates which you have achieved. There are badges which can be redeemed for every module you learn over the Microsoft Learn content. Skills like Azure, Cloud, Cloud Architecture, Data Center, Cloud Infrastructure. You can go and get all of these skill set added into your profile. As you move forward, as you get more certificate, as you get more skilled into these technologies, it improves your employability. It helps you to get into more skilled jobs as well as to get and learn and earn more into your profiles. You can go and get a solution which we have for you. It's available as an event handout. It gives you information about the certification journey over Microsoft platform and how you can go and get the value of these skills which you have earned and how it improves your insights, your business impact, your personal and career benefits. You'll be able to get all of that information into the event handout link, which is available to you. As you move forward, there are multiple levels of certification you can get started with. If this is your first introduction to the cloud services, you can get started with fundamental certificates. If you want to get role-based solutions from Microsoft, Microsoft offers associate level certificate for the services. Once you complete that associate level, you get more experience on building solutions over the cloud. Then it's time to go and design solutions for cloud services. This is where the architect and specialty certificates are aligned into the businesses. When you get it from the Netcom based learning partner, we are going to offer you a 180 days of lab access, 90 days access to the recordings. You'll be able to get opportunity to have a learner portal where you have options to go and repeat the session in case you miss out some of the classes due to your schedules. And of course, you have the support from the entire Netcom team for you to get succeeded with your certification, learning, and your career requirements. Some of the facts about the certificate renewal is also there. If you are going through a role-based certificate of Microsoft, then your certificate renewal process requires you to go and get your certificate renewed every year. So once you get your certificate, as we all know, cloud changes a lot. There are a lot of services coming in. There are a lot of features which are added to the services. Sometimes services gets deprecated as well. We need the cloud professionals to be updated with all of that information. So the process of certification have been built around this emerging technology to make sure that whenever you get yourself certified, you also continuously learn about the technology, and over the period of time you have to refresh your knowledge, you have to renew your certificate, and those renewals are free of cost, but that renewal make sure that you learn about the new changes which are happening over a specific cloud service or the role you are certified for. That's where you can get certified and you can get trained for. If there is any question around the discussion we have done, you can go and ask your queries.
Thank you, Ranjit. That was very informative. I know everyone is looking forward to the Q&A session, so go ahead and start putting your questions into the questions panel. And while you do that, I would like to give the presentation rights over to Sagnik, our vendor manager, to introduce you to our promotions and webinar-related courses.
Thank you so much, Tracy. Hello, everyone. So as you can see on my screen, this is the event handout that you all have received. Once again, we thank you all for taking out the time and joining our masterclass today. As part of this handout, you'd see the content section wherein the different sections within the document have been listed here, and everything is hyperlinked. So you can quickly use these links to jump to the specific section of the document. Before we proceed, it's worth mentioning that Netcom Learning, we are the proud winners of the Microsoft Partner of the Year Award for 2 years in a row. So as we say, the legacy continues. In 2022, we were the Partner of the Year worldwide, and in 2023, we were the Partner of the Year for United States. And we are also a Microsoft Cloud Solutions Partner. That means that we have capabilities across all the 6 solution areas recognized by Microsoft. A few more things about us. We are in the training industry for over 25 years now, having serviced over 80% of the Fortune 1000 companies, serviced 100 plus US military bases. Overall, we have trained 1 million plus professionals across 36,000 plus unique enterprises, and we enjoy a 96% recommendation rate from our customers. All our trainings on Microsoft are delivered by instructors that are certified and authorized by Microsoft. And our overall instructor pool stands at about 3,200 plus certified professionals. We are your one-stop solution for all your corporate upskilling needs with official training across every major technology and business solution provider. So as we can see over here, we are an authorized training partner for all the industry leaders across Microsoft, AWS, Cisco, Confia, PMI, EC Council, and others. Now, within this handout, you would also find this particular page wherein you can find the session recording. You can use the link to access the recording for today's session and revisit the concepts that were covered in today's masterclass. On this page, you'd find the link to access your complimentary courseware and the digital badges. The same landing page that we covered at the beginning of my presentation. You can find the direct access link here, and the link to which is also available on your chat on GoToWebinar. Also, all the participants will be given access to Netcom 365. It is our student portal that includes a lot of features and resources for you to take advantage of to supercharge your skilling journey. All you need to do if you're accessing it and activating it for the first time is set up your password and then you'd be good to go. We highly recommend everyone to explore our learning portal to take full advantage of all your skilling resources. Now let's quickly take a look at some of the latest offers on Microsoft trainings and certifications. First up, we have the Microsoft Quick Start program, which is applicable across the entire portfolio, encompassing Azure, Security, Microsoft 365, Dynamics 365, and Power Platform. It is truly the best in class exclusive enterprise discount offering on your end-to-end Microsoft training across the official portfolio. The pricing model is quite simple and straightforward. If you have a team, if whether you are a large organization or a small organization, and you have a team to train across departments or within the same department, we have two options for you depending on your team size. If you are looking to train more than 15 learners, you would be getting a flat discounted pricing of $300 per day per learner. And of course, as the number of days for the particular training increases, the amount also increases, but you get significant savings on this. If you are having a smaller team, that is 14 learners or less, then you still are entitled to a $400 discounted flat pricing per day per learner. This really accounts to huge savings when it comes to large scale training. So we highly recommend everyone to get in touch with us, explore the offering by clicking on the link provided in this handout. And all your trainings can also be customized based on the specific projects and workloads that you and your team, your organization is working on. And our industry specific subject matter expertise encompasses a wide range of verticals, as you can see over here, from banking and financial services, healthcare, federal and state and local government, to education, energy, manufacturing, retail, consumer goods, and more. Also, we have a Netcom Plus subscription available for all the attendees. In case you are looking to have an annual subscription plan, you are comfortable learning at your own pace, a self-paced learning modality in the form of e-learning, this is the ultimate solution for your requirements, right? So you get access to 600 plus courses and 40 AI exam certifications, all at a price of only $399 per learner annually, right? So for only less than the price of a single seat, right, of a course, you get an year-long subscription model. You get an year-long access to 600 plus courses, 40 AI exam certifications, and all our trainings are recorded and you'd be getting the expert guidance through these e-learning modules from industry leaders who are designed to upskill professionals across all industries. So click on this link on your handout to learn more about our Netcom Plus subscription. Now, we'd like to also quickly go over some facts about Microsoft certifications, role-based and specialty certifications tend to expire within 1 year, right? You need to maintain, in order to maintain your certification from Microsoft, you need to renew them before they expire. And the renewal process from Microsoft is really simple and easy, and it is cost effective because it's free of cost. You don't have to pay any additional fees to continue maintaining your certification, right? So please make sure to go through this insightful ebook, The Win-Win of Certification. So in case you're planning to get officially Microsoft certified on one of these role-based certifications, this is a great resource for you to know inside out about all the perks that these have to offer. Also, in case you have a team and before you commit to maybe a quick start program for training your team extensively, maybe you want to go for a test drive, right? You want to understand how it adds value to your team, whether it's the right solution for you, whether training is making business sense for your team. We have an ideal solution for you to assess that precisely, right? So for our enterprise customers with teams of 10 or more members, we have the 2-hour private group training demo as a solution, which is also customizable. So our SMEs are going to connect with you, understand what your requirements are. They're going to prepare a targeted skilling plan, and then we are going to customize a 2-hour training for your team as a demo for a more extensive training engagement in case you see the value out of it. And all of these training sessions are delivered from our top Microsoft certified trainers. So this is a great tool. Please make sure to leverage it in case you are planning to explore more training opportunities. And last but not the least, we also have a learning passport, which is our go-to tool for year-long end-to-end enterprise training requirements. It is the ultimate flexible team training package. Irrespective of where your team members are located, irrespective of which modality you need to train your team on, or on which technology or vendor you need to train your team on, the Learning Passport is the ultimate solution. You get access to 4,000 plus official courses. You get flexible fund validity of 12 months. So whatever you invest as part of your Learning a Passport account fund, we we almost doubled it, right? In case, depending on the amount that you are investing, Netcom Learning also pitches in, contributes to grow your overall fund value so you can train your team to the maximum possible amount that your funds allow you to do. So this is a great tool. Please make sure to explore it in case this is something that you are planning to deploy and you're planning to train your team on AI, Copilot, or any other solution. Also on this deck, you will find some Microsoft recommended courses related to today's topic, as well as a couple of free resources which are mapped here. We highly encourage you to explore these post the session and get in touch with us in case you have any specific skilling requirements. We would love to help you in your skilling journey. With that, please make sure to follow us for the latest updates on IT and business training through our social handles across LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. And with that, we are done for the session. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today.
Thanks so much for guiding us through that information, Sagnik. And now we're going to go ahead and jump right into our question and answer session. What is the difference between Entra ID role-based access control and privileged identity management?
Okay, so let's start with role-based access control, which we have discussed into our lab as well. The role-based access control is about who can do what and on which resource you allow that access to. So let's assign this role like reader, contributor, owner to users or group for a specific scope like subscription, resource group, even a single VM can be assigned. Role-based access control is static. If I have given someone the contributor role, they will have it until I remove it. So it's great for daily ongoing access, like letting developer manage a web application or a finance user accessing the billing data. But When you talk about PIM, Entra PIM is all about controlling privileged access more securely, specifically for admin roles or sensitive resources, as the name suggests, privileged identity management. So instead of giving someone permanent high level access, PIM lets you make them eligible for the role, but they have to activate their role. There have to be approval which needs to be completed. The activation will be time bound, and you can go and add multi-factor authentication with it. You can go and add notification to it. So by doing this, you have more granular control with the help of PIM. So to summarize, role-based access control is for assigning roles who can do what and where. PIM is for managing how and when these roles are used, specifically the high privilege access roles within the organization.
Which Azure services can be protected through Defender for Cloud?
Okay, great. So, great question. If you go to the Defender for Cloud, I'll go and use my portal to explain that. If you go to your Defender service, you can actually see all those resources which you are able to go and protect through your Defender controls. You open it, and there we are. You can go and see the services which are available in the Defender for Cloud. So first of all, it is going to go and protect all of these services which are hosted on Azure. This is what we have discussed into the session, that you can go and protect your servers, app services, databases, storage, container, AI services, Key Vault. You can go and protect all of these services. But what we haven't discussed, which can be taken as the next level of the trainings, is when you are working with Defender, you are not only limited to Azure platform. You can actually go and see that if you go to environment settings, you have Azure subscription, AWS services, GCP, GitHub, Azure DevOps, GitLab, and the list goes on. There are many solutions, not only from Microsoft, but other Microsoft services can also be protected using the Defender for Cloud Control. So you can submit this information to Defender and you can manage it from one single pane of management. I hope that answers the question.
Please explain the Sentinel workbook.
Okay, yeah, so we discussed about Sentinel. Sentinel is a SIM source solution which is available to you while you go and detect certain threats into the business application and you want to do some automation. Workbook in the Microsoft Sentinels are actually your interactive reports. These are dashboards which allow you to go and visualize and analyze your security data from different sources. Think of them like a customizable dynamic dashboard built on top of Azure Monitor Logs, which is log analytics, which we have discussed. They help you to go and turn your raw telemetry data into the meaningful visual insights. This is the core of workbooks. So it's a visual layer over your Kusto queries. We haven't talked about it, but when you want to go and search certain information inside the log, you can go and run Kusto queries. Those Kusto query allow you to filter the desired set of information, and then that information can be visualized using the workbooks. So this is the use of Sentinel workbook into the business.
Once again, I want to remind you that as you leave this session today, you will be presented with a short survey. We would like to request for you to help us by taking a quick moment to participate in that survey. Your feedback really helps us understand your learning experience as we are constantly looking at how we can improve our future sessions. The survey answers are measured on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 representing outstanding and 1 representing poor. We want to thank all of you for joining us today, and if you do come up with any additional questions, Feel free to send them to webinar@netcomlearning.com at any time. We hope that you found today's webinar informative, and we look forward to seeing you back here with us soon. Feel free to tell your friends and colleagues about our webinars and other courses. Have a great day, everyone.